Welcome back, everybody, to an SC Spectrum episode 4. Jimmy Boy, round 5. How are you today, my friend?
I'm good, Trav. How you going?
Look, I'm pretty frustrated. We've been sitting here for 45 minutes trying to get this bloody podcast set up and ready, but we are cooking. Let's get right into this. So, mate,
Let's go.
I do have a couple of things that I need to mention. The first one is that we've got do not forget that all of our numbers and all of our special data that we get is from a sponsor called Rugby League Fantasy Pro. Get on their website. You can get their Supercoach, their fantasy, their punters page, which I know James uses. So, and you can get 20% off. So to get that, you just have to go onto the Rugby League Fantasy Pro website. We'll put the link in as we have every time. You put in SC Spectrum 26, you get 20% off their entire website. Mate,
How good?
we've got a huge show today, and I've got one more announcement that I really want to mention to you, and that's about another major sponsor that we've got. So that's 2 sponsors in a matter of 2 weeks. We had the US Understanding Supports last week, and this week we've got another one. And I'm proud to announce another huge sponsor, which is Freedom Finance Group. Con, my man. Con is my own private mortgage broker. The dude is an absolute champion. My wife loves him. He's a very good-looking fella. So if he's stealing my wife from me, then he must be a very good-looking fella. Not only that, he's a bloody good dude. If anything for your mortgage broking, for your finance, anything, any need, for those who might not know them, he's the kind of bloke who generally looks after his clients and goes the extra mile. I've personally worked with him, as I've said. With interest rates the way they are right now, it's definitely worth having a chat and making sure you're getting the best possible deal. You can message Con, ring him. All you need to do is say SC Spectrum, and he will unlock you a cashback offer or an extra discount, whichever one is better for you. Get around him for that. How do you feel about that, Jimmy Boy?
I think it's awesome. Another major sponsor to get on board the growing crew. Can't wait. Big year.
Are you do you own your own mortgage?
I do. I leave it for someone else bigger to do, mate.
Yeah. Have you? So you've got a mortgage. So you know that the last 2 mortgage rises, the RBA has actually lifted rates. It's been insane.
Yeah, it's been huge. That's for sure.
And are you a petrol? Do you put petrol in your own car, mate?
I do. Unfortunately, lots of driving.
How much did that cost you?
$90. I fill up
$90. How many litres?
40.
40. I put 60 litres. 61 litres cost me $190 the other day. Mate,
Diesel?
I can't. Of diesel, yeah. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't tell you more than enough that this is now the right time. Cost of living is huge. Get around our man, Con. Now, I've got another one for you, Jimmy.
Yeah, send it to me. No way.
There is our
Hello,
boy.
Bob.
Have a look at this.
Hello, lads.
How bloody good is this?
Hello, Jesse.
How you going?
How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, mate, thanks for coming on to our podcast and being a part of it. Jimmy has no idea. You can see, have a look. We've got him lost for words.
No, I'm more surprised that he's got that mustache growing, and I shaved mine off just before coming on cam. We could have been twins.
No,
got
you
the
didn't.
mustache.
Spewing.
Oh,
Bugger.
Jesse. So Jimmy, it's time to proudly announce that we've signed the big dog. This is why we're all here. We know that the community only listens because they've been waiting for this guy to get involved. That's the only reason. We know it. We just had to hold the fort up and wait till he gets here. But Jesse boy, mate, welcome aboard. I know the community is very keen. We are super keen. We've held the fort for the last few weeks. We've got used to each other now, Jimmy and I, and we are very, very keen to add you into the group and have you join and be a part of the SC Spectrum crew, mate. We love you. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. I've been watching, obviously, intently and enjoying the content you two have been putting out, and Sam in the background as well. Really keen to see her one day on here, but it's been good. Honestly, you guys are killing it. It's been fun. Like, it's been fun. I've stepped out for a little while now, and I've sort of just been, taking it in, playing a bit of Supercoach, content free in a way as well, to be honest. Except, obviously supporting the boys here, but yeah, like, you know me, man. You know me pretty well. I'm a bit of a super coach head, and I love my game. I love my numbers, and yeah, if I can offer that and help a bit, and just come in from another perspective, and feature as you'd like, then I think we'll do some good things.
You think? I know we will, mate. I know we will. And I'm just, you know what I'm loving right now, Jesse? I'm loving the look on Jimmy's face. This is a guy who we just want to get him to shut up and have a look at him. He hasn't said a word in 3 minutes now.
Did
Sorry,
someone say 4-hour podcast?
Yeah, I'm gonna ruin the dynamic. It's gonna double. Sorry, boys.
It's fine. We'll get through. That's what we love about us. All right. Hey, well, let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get into it. Let's start with the best one of all of us. Jesse, we want to talk about our round forward. Let's get in. Introduce everyone to your team. What's your team name? Tell us how you went in round 4. Tell us what your rank is. Tell us what you did in
Okay.
for some trades and why, and then we'll go from there.
Alrighty. Well, I obviously I haven't been able to feature any of my team news because I've only just appeared about 2 minutes ago. But my team name this season is What's a Farnworth with a question mark, and it was last season too. I really like that name, so I might stick with it. I'm never one to carry a team name twice back to back like you, Trav, but it is a good one, so I'm stuck with it. My round last week, I scored 1340. I've actually had quite a decent start to the year so far. My current season rank is 2,799. I've used one boost so far, and I haven't boosted this week. So, unlike me, I'm not pumping through them. Team value is 13.6 mil, give or take. Um, yeah, so going pretty good. Last week, I did a couple of things. Let me just bring up my trade history. Um, Sorry, boys. Okay, so last week I traded Haas out. Um, I pretty much just, yeah, I ripped it off. I was very reluctant to sort of think about it to begin with, and then the more I did, I was like, you know what? It's too early in the season to be carrying this much coin for someone who is obviously a freak. I think he'll come back super fit, but it's just too early to have question marks around injury, and I want to kind of just throw it at the wall for a sec. So I traded him out with Keeney, and I ended up bringing in Walsh and Stefano last week. So um, pretty happy, obviously, to have Walsh. Stefano was a bit of a lull, but I'm going to stick strong, I think, with Stefano. I think it was just an off game, but he's in 2 of my draft teams, so I kind of have to commit somewhere or another. So yeah, it was all in all pretty decent start, decent round. Trades were pretty good, I would like to think. So yeah.
Well done, Jesse, mate. You're putting us to shame. Jimmy, let's go.
Yeah, look, last week was a good week for me. I saw some major green arrows. I think I jumped like 13,000 spots, which was sort of the week I was trying to have maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. But either way, we got the green arrows, and I'm happy for that. I scored 1277, which could have been a lot better, but we got there in the end. I've gone up to 37,000 now, down from 50. So I've come in a fair way. And I went Haas to Stefano last week as well, like Jesse was saying. I thought that was it seemed like a no-brainer trade at the moment, but when Stefano was playing a little bit busted on the weekend, it kind of hurt a lot watching that, especially when Stefano comes back after a week now. So hasn't really justified it, but doing so allowed me to bring Young in, which I think has been a revelation. He's going to be great for my squad going forward. So, yeah, Mooney out, Young in, and we move forward. We keep going for green arrows.
Who'd you captain?
I went vice captain on Cleary. I was very tempted to loop. I was speaking to Jesse actually, and he suggested just captaining Hudson Young, which I did in the end, which saved me a few thousand spots, I'd imagine. Reed's 20. I just really didn't want to take that in my squad last week. So, yeah, I took the captain on Hudson, and yeah, we're here. How'd you end up going, Trav? Where'd you go?
Fire. Well done, boys. I got 12.38. So look, it's onwards and upwards. I saw green arrows. My goal is just to see green arrows every single week now. I got a total score now of 4,784, which gives me a season rank of 61,353, which I rose 11,830. My team value is $500,000 less than Jesse's, and again, I've got people sitting there telling me how good my team is, and they're just not firing, and I'm just going to continue to ignore all that stupidity because it's not bloody worked. What did I trade last week? I don't even remember. I'm so annoyed. No, I traded Haas to Stefano, which was a super great trade, and I traded Walker to Purdue. And that was what I did last week, and I was one of the lucky ones that did a late minute call and reserved Arama Ho for that last game in his 116, and that saved my week. Let's get away from that garbage because I'm annoyed by it, and let's go into our TLT takeaways. So, boys, Dolphins versus Manly. We've got Farlolo comes in for the suspended sub. Wakeham continues at hooker, pushing Simpkins still out, and the Dolphins have named an unchanged team. I'm just wondering, are either of you boys interested in any of these Dolphins boys like a Plath?
I was just about to bring that up, actually.
Great minds think alike.
I know. He keeps getting named at hooker, and it's really starting to pique my interest. He doesn't have the duel at the moment, does he?
He will get it in round 6, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I'm thinking.
This will be his third game in a row as hooker.
Yep. I don't want to waste any more trades at hooker, but I think maybe redeem in a couple of weeks could be on.
Yeah, it could be good. I want to see him not at hooker, though. I want the duel, but I want to see him in the 13. So that's kind of where I'd go for Plath. I'd be reluctant to buy him in as a 9, to be fair. But yeah, as long as he gets the duel and at some point in the season finds his way back to lock, I think he'll be essential in that position.
I 100% agree. Anything else for that game? No?
Oh, look, there's a lot of interest in a couple of these guys here. Like, the Dolphins, especially the back line, is just so freaking good, man. Like, Avarillo is having a season. Like, I'm so keen on him. Azarko as well, as always. Genuinely, I love him. Hard to buy him with a buy next week, but you're going to be copping a price rise at the very least. And it's a good matchup for the Finns. So, good VC options, good buys. Just very hard to bite the bullet on a buy.
Yep, 100% agree. Rabbits, Bulldogs. Graham comes back on the wing. Hughes returns for the Dogs. We still don't see any Cheese, but talk is, and I have heard a little bit that Cheese is not going to be back till about Origin, and I think that's actually out of his mouth.
I've heard the same, to be fair. I just don't know if he's I understand the downgrade, and I know he's in one of the top trade-ins because people are just looking to cash out on Reed Marnie, which is fair. But if you're going to be buying someone in to essentially be enough and maybe play later in the season, just make it enough. Take the 30k, in my opinion. But yeah, I get it. I just don't know why he's so highly traded in this particular week.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of rumblings that Sean O'Sullivan might be a late come in as well, which might see Burton push to centre. So that's definitely one to look out for heading into the week.
It's probably something the Dogs need to do.
Definitely.
It's absolutely something they need to do. Then that'll push Galvin back to the 6, which should pique your interest as well. And I know that will definitely get Jesse excited.
Yep. Oh yeah, love Galvin.
Panthers versus Storm. Meaney comes back. Leo we wrote Leo dropped, but he's actually out for delayed concussion protocols.
Yep.
So he's out. Meaney's going to go straight into that spot. Howarth has still been named despite injury concerns. Important he plays, but he's not very well owned. And Lussick starts for the suspended Kenny. Any other news or things you want to talk about in that game, boys?
No, I think we'll probably get into Penrith winger later down the track. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Meaney swaps sides with Howarth. Howarth played left all last year and Meaney played right. So maybe that shores up that left side maybe heading into the game.
which bloody desperately needs to happen, Jesse.
Yeah.
Nah, not particularly, man. We'll definitely touch on a few of these dudes later on in this episode, I'm sure.
Cool. Dragons versus Cowboys. So Farley comes in and starts on the wing. We're still two's now been dropped 2 weeks in a row. He was a late out last week and he's now out this week and entirely. King Togia starts for the Kyle Flanagan. I just want to I'm going to take 30 seconds here. If you were Peanut that wished that Flanagan dies or is so badly hurt that he doesn't play again, you're an absolute moron. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say that. What absolute disgrace that is. Toby returns to the starting lineup and Chester returns for the Cowboys. And guess who he came in for?
Zach Labour.
Always going to happen, boys.
And Labour was so good last week too. So that's obviously shows to you that Chester is incredibly important and very high on Peyton's radar.
Yeah, I was so confident pre-season that was Chester's, and I copped a bit of resistance around it as well, funnily enough. But yeah, obviously he's back in the side, back in my lineup as well with a reserve on him. So yeah, he's a base beast. The Cowboys centers are solid both sides, but yeah, this looks like an absolute slinger if I've ever seen a matchup. So
yeah, I can't disagree with you there.
Don't get too excited about a Sadiavo, wasn't it? It's a Sadiavo game.
5:30. Yeah, I'll be doing anything else.
Mate, that'll be. We'll get our kids ready for bed. We'll have a couple of beers. We'll have shower and all that sort of stuff. And by that time, the Saturday night game's done. Saturday night game's on. That's how crap that game's going to be.
One thing to note with that game, though, Zach Leibert's on the bench, 6-man bench, so he could come in at some point for someone. So just keep your eye on that one too.
Probably just coverage, you know.
I think so too.
Yeah, a lot of these 6 men not getting used, obviously, but
you have to just put him there because he played so well last week. He deserves to be in that team somewhere. Titans Broncos. Brimson starts at centre with Ilias moving to the 6. Geez, that's exciting. I'm pretty keen for that. Shibasaki comes back to start at centre with Mariner, replacing the injured Anderson on the wing. Anderson's out 8 to 10 weeks. The poor man can't catch a break, that fella. Karapani has been fully dropped. We've all heard about that. And the guy that Jesse, myself, and Jimmy all traded out last week in the hope that he was going to come back. Wasn't going to come back for a couple of weeks. It returns, but he's being named. But there is a few very loud whispers that he's going to be a laid out.
Yeah, I want to see what happens there. I feel like he will be pulled, but it wouldn't shock me if he plays. It also wouldn't shock me if he gets 100 points as well. So it's kind of one of those ones where you just have to let it ride. If you've traded him out, don't rush him back in, please. Just let it be. Give yourself a week or two and monitor the situation. I'll tell you one thing, boys, that I'm very, very keen on, and you're probably going to say rocks in your head sort of stuff, but Brimson in the centres.
Oh, I just said before. I literally did you not hear how excited
sorry,
I was? I must have gone on mute because I said Brimson starts at centre with Ilias at the 6, and
yeah, I know you said
boys,
that.
How excited is this? Is great news. I'm loving it.
Yeah, so highlighting the point, Brimson at the centres. Man, if he gets that duel, my lord, he's going to find his way in my side. I love Brimson in the centres.
Really? I can't buy into the hype, boys. I'm sorry.
No? Nostalgia.
2 games last year at the end of the year, he scored over 100. He played 20-odd minutes.
He was fullback, wasn't he?
Last week. No, he played 20-odd minutes last year at centre, like the second or third last game, and ended up getting a try and just went bonkers in that 20 minutes, got over 100. And then the next week after that, he got centre. He played full-time centre and got another 100. Like, he's just, in the centres, the dude's a freak.
I think you could put Greg Inglis on the left edge for the Titans and he wouldn't score above 50, so that's just saying something.
Classic.
We're not asking
Sammy.
We're not asking the Titans, Dragons and Cowboys to sponsor us, boys.
To be fair, they've had Sammy and Kelly the last few years and they both averaged like 65 for like 3 years in a row.
Do you know what do you know what interests me even more with Ilias being put at the 6? JC. Man,
I'm surprised they didn't swap him.
I just think it's a number. I think they end up will. But God, that makes me so much more keen for JC. Although
Yeah,
word is that he's waiting for a baby to come. So,
yeah,
and
it's
it may
risky.
come if it comes anytime. So just watch that late minute and have a plan for him not to play.
Yeah, could have at least put him in
Definitely also,
6. Sorry.
yeah. No, definitely one I'm considering also is Shibasaki on a redemption arc. I think he could come back with that newfound hunger. He's lost his spot, he's lost his role, and could come back firing. He's got a soft enough draw to really do some damage in these coming weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
could
There's
do.
Hopefully he
so
loses
many
some more coin.
Broncos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many Broncos I'm interested. Stags. I need Walsh. I like Carrigan. I also thought Piakura hasn't been too bad, and if he can start getting some bigger minutes, he'd be fine too. Sharks versus Warriors. Sharks are unchanged, but look out for a late in of Nickera, Britton Nickera. Tane gets the start at fullback with C&K moving to the centres. Is that like hallelujah? Like, finally the Wars actually think about have been smart to do that. I just think C&K in the centres is going to be so much better, and he comes into a bit of contention for my Supercoach team as a pod in the next couple of weeks because I really like his run and what he can provide. And Tane as a dual fullback centre is just fire, and I'm very keen for that now that he's locked that spot in.
Going to have both dual centre wing fullbacks in that side. It's a shame that obviously, like, you think he needs one more game, Nickel Kluckstad, to get the dual, but he won't get it till round 12. So something to look in late season could be nice, and over the bye period and Origin and stuff, definitely eyes on the Wars. But yeah, look, I've got a bit of a soft spot for Tane, but I just kind of want to see him go up a level. It's open slather at the centre wing position, but fullback you're always a bit hesitant. But yeah, the dual is very, very handy for him. And for all draft heads out there, I think he's probably not on any waivers anymore. Great pickup.
Because I've got him in most of my leagues.
Yeah.
And Barnett out due to injury. That's a 6-weeker, unfortunately, or 4 to 6 weeker, unfortunately. But if you're a Ford owner, that's good news for you. But let's be honest, it didn't really affect him last week, and even coach said it wasn't going to affect him anyway. So probably not a statement that needs to be made there, but still good for Ford either way.
I think one thing on the forward, though, his runs went down a lot last week. They weren't anywhere near what they have been. I think he's been doing 19, 20 runs a game. I think last week he was only about 11 or 12. So definitely something to look out for there.
They did fall
Hopefully his
off.
runs increase.
Go, Jesse, so.
I was just saying they did fall off a bit late in that game too. The Tigers kind of just found another gear, and for whatever reason they didn't keep up. But yeah, they started hot, and I was really worried not having him, to be fair, because I'm just watching his points rack up, and he's not coming off the field. It's been 60 minutes, it's been 70 minutes, and you just far out. This guy's going to play 80 again. One that got away, but yeah, it was a pretty modest score considering his PPM's been through the roof, and he played almost a full game. So wheels up for the Ford owners. Honestly, he'll be a good hold for a long time. The Barnett thing didn't really bother him too much though.
Agreed. We've got Knights Raiders. Trey Mooney returns after a week suspension. I am a holder. I think you both are too, aren't you? Oh, no, you said you traded him, Jimmy. I'm a holder. Pretty happy that he's returning, to be fair. And Papali'i returns after a week suspension. It doesn't really do much, does it, to the Raiders team?
I think it has a huge effect on the Raiders' pack and how they play. I think Papali'i offers something Smithies doesn't and just brings a bit of mongrel to that forward pack. You could see it last week. They just kind of were a shell of themselves nearly. So when Papali'i's playing, I think they're a completely different side, personally.
They're very irrelevant Supercoach-wise, unfortunately. But
Supercoach, yeah.
It's just one of those things with the Raiders. Like they'll obviously got their forward rotation kind of settled. They've got enough of them. There's friggin' that many middles in this club that can play a good stint. To have Hosking and someone not even get a look in. But yeah, look, the second rowers are where it's at, really, isn't it? I suppose, and kind of looking at Sasungi, massive popular trade in this week, and Tomoko kind of, in the bushes just waiting for his position back. But the Raiders haven't been doing amazing. That's the thing. So have to see what changes and what they need to change.
Let's go to Eels Tigers. This is a name that I might be keen on as a bit of a cheapy option. Joash, who's starting at fullback for the injured Iongi. Geimer moves to the bench for the injured Dory, and Tavana starts on the wing. Otherwise unchanged Tigers team.
Joash, 340k as a 5'8 only, I believe. Looking at
Playing
him earlier.
fullback
Yeah, pretty good. Honestly,
for
he's
8
good
weeks
too.
minimum.
Yeah, it's a long while for Iongi to be out, and I think at the very least, especially in a pretty rough 5'8 position, could be good. Like, he's obviously not going to be dual position fullback. You're not going to want him in fullback anyway. 5'8's thin enough where if you wanted to get off Cody Walker, I wouldn't knock you for it. Again, you're probably going to run with Pezzett and Joash as well, which is a bit ugly for the bye, but I don't know when that is. I don't think it's for a while. Definitely something to consider. He won't get a price rise for a week, one more week now. I think he's only played a game.
Has he? Yes, he has.
Yeah,
Actually.
one game.
Yeah, he's played one game, so you won't get a rise for another week at least. So enough to look at. And it's a good matchup for him in general. Eels.
Sorry,
Tigers,
my
so.
bad. He's actually played 2 games. He played 10 minutes in round 1 against the Storm, and then he played 37 minutes against Penrith.
Right, he's averaging about 8, so he's gonna drop coin, which is
he's going to
probably a
drop
better
coin.
thing.
So let's watch him for the next 2 weeks and give him another couple of weeks when that break even changes, and that could be a really, a 100k make from Pezzett down to Joash, and just leave it at that. I don't mind that. I don't mind that option.
100%.
That's it. Anything else for TLT, boys?
Nah. Good going.
Rightio. Let's move into something that we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. That I'm particularly enjoying, and I know that there's been a few comments and stuff come through to us about it. They're liking our break-even radars. Now, this is not something we're going to do for the whole season, but we are particularly going to focus on this in the next, probably for the most of the first half of this season. And currently on a couple of on a radar that we've got here, all our figures are proudly sponsored and supported by the NRL SuperCoach Pro. Get into Rugby League Fantasy Pro again, that SC Spectrum 26. But let's start with guys with some low BEs, boys. Mr. Arama Ho. Mr. Arama Ho. Yeah, I gotta. It just plays with my head when I say that, and as it's about to come out, I'm like, I'm going to change it to How, because Ho just doesn't sound nice. But he's priced at 421.6k. He's got a break even of -42 off that big monster 116. He's had now 3 really good games. If he scores 60, and we were pretty conservative with his 60, he's got an average of 72. That just got inflated by that 116. But let's just say he gets a 60, which I think is actually pretty fair, a fair and reasonable price or point. Over the next 3 weeks, he's going to rise another 200k at a minimum. What's your thoughts, boys?
I started with him, and I wouldn't say I was initially I was a bit not confident on him because I didn't know if Paxton was going to take his spot. So I just threw him in there because he had the position. The duel was handy. I haven't really played him outside of last week, but he has been very consistent and very bloody good, to be fair, racking up points as base in general. But yeah, last week was kind of what we needed to really jumpstart his price gen. So if you're going 60, 60, 60 on his cash gen over the next couple of weeks, by the time he's at his round 8 bye, he'll essentially have peaked, roughly around 560k. I think it's fantastic. I think he's still a buy as well, if you don't have him.
I was just about to ask, is he still a buy at 421?
Yeah. What do you reckon, James, on how?
Yeah, I started with him as well. I think it was a toss-up between him and Leybarn at the time, and I thought there's just a bit more stability with Howe. He's been killing it at the moment. I think the first week he dropped 3 balls over the try line as well. So
yeah,
that could have been another easy 100, and now we're talking about 600k. So I still think he's a buy for sure. Maybe a good downgrade option for someone that's not performing well for you.
Well, he's been traded in 7% this round at already owned at 38%. So he's going to be close to 50% owned across the competition by the end of this round, which is pretty astronomical for him. I agree with you, Jesse. I think this guy is still an absolute buy, even at 421. And there's plenty of options. Like you could go and get some. You could trade down someone like a Fafita. I don't mind that trade down as well. There's not a lot of like he just hasn't shown the upside just yet, and probably in 3 weeks they're going to be the same price. Like it's even if Fafita's still going with what he's doing. So I don't mind that trade, but there's plenty of other options that you can do there. But I like it. The next one on our low BE is someone that I know you're very keen on, Jimmy, and that's Alex Twal. He's 548k, 548.6k to be exact. He's just had a score of 97. He's dropped his break even down to 12. Let's just put it out there and say that if he gets 370s in a row, which is pretty easy and reasonable with the way that he's been playing, he's even found an attacking side of himself. 70, 77. Let's say he gets 70 against Para, 70 against Newcastle, 70 against Brisbane. He's going to rise another 100k-ish. He'll be about 636 by round 8. What's your thoughts on Alex Twal?
He's absolutely smashing it at the moment. He's a PPM beast, and I think it was Benji last week said when someone went down with all those injuries, he said, I just had to leave Twal out there. And then he just went crazy. And now he's thinking, I'll leave him out there even longer. And he got 77 minutes last week or something ridiculous. Yeah, 70 minutes last week, which was just ridiculous. He scored 97. He's offloading at will. 1.4 ppm. I just think he's a buy. Honestly, I'm looking to downgrade Gio this week for him.
Did I see, Jesse, that he's got more offloads in his first 3 games this year than he has in like 2 years?
Yeah, pretty much. Hey,
I've seen. Yeah.
I think you have. Hey, it's wild. He's offloading like a madman, and that's kind of where his points are, because traditionally, like you look at him minutes wise at lock. He's hovered anywhere from, like last year he played 19 games at lock, averaged about 45 minutes. So he's doubling like getting an extra 20, 30 minutes of game time some games. And it's just like, where has this come from? There's not as much reliance on Terrell May, and it seems like Twal's the beneficiary for it, which is mad for him because he's got a nice jewel. He's obviously cheaper. He's basically never had a career, like, never had a year like this. So it's very hard to look back on previous like historical stats because this is just newfound form. So I think you ride it. I think he's priced at, he's low enough at the moment where there's obviously money to be made and there's profit there. There's very little risk, and he's obviously not going to score you 50. What his price point is, he's going to get you way more than that. So 100% a buy for sure.
So 70 against Para this week. He, with his 12 break even, he rises 47k. He walks into Newcastle at home next week with a break even of 26. He gets another 70 against Brisbane, against Newcastle. He walks into Brisbane, rising another 36k and a break even of 65. Like this is just a really nice play, but I'm feeling like this is one of those guys that you just plug him. Like he looks like he's just got the reins. Like he's even to the point where it's making Terrell May look low compared to what he did last year.
Yeah, Terrell May looks like a shadow compared to what he was doing last season, and it's all Twal. Funnily enough, it's kind of hard to see what happened during the preseason for us all to shift up as much as it has. But I'm just looking at his PPM over the last couple of years as well. And to be fair to Twal, his PPM has been between 1.1, 1.2. It's currently 1.2. So he's always had the same output. He just needed extra minutes, and May's not getting him anymore. It's all him. So something to compare with.
I think it's a fantastic buy. I really am all over Alex 12, especially with that early buy, and they've got that they've already had. So they've already had their buy, and they've got a really good Origin run. So I like the Tigers in general in terms of that. But next one, let's move on to Milky Jenkins. Look, I feel like a broken record because we've named him Jimmy for the last 3. This is the 3rd week in a row. So is it 3rd time lucky, and we're all going to go get him? He's 782.5k. But here's the thing. He's 782.5k, and he's got a freaking break-even of -3 against a horrible, horrible edge of the Storm that just allowed points for him. He's off the back of 122. He's got an average of 109, boys. He's got an average of 109. If he scores 100, which is not out of his
Nah.
reach, considering that he's had 300s already against pretty good comp. 104 against the Broncos, 134 against the Roosters, and 122 against Para. They're not the bottom kickers of the competition, so he's been able to do it. Damn.
Yeah,
Jimmy.
look, Jimmy.
Or Jesse. Either way. Actually,
I know
no,
Jesse's a bit more keen on him this week. So
let's get off Jimmy because we've spoken about this guy to the nth degree. Jesse, tell us about him.
I've absolutely had enough of not having Jenkins.
Oh, yeah.
I've had enough. I'm sick of it. Last week I watched him and I was just like, there's no way. There's no way he can do this. He can't. If he's already got 3 out of 4 games, he's big tons too. They're not 101s. You know, he's got 130s and 20s in that mix. He's not stopping, man. This isn't going to stop. He's not just going to all of a sudden start banging 30s and 40s out every week. He's going to have probably another 10 more tons this season. I'm not going to let it go. This is kind of it now. Last week was almost too late to buy him, and now he's 780. He's going to rise another probably 80k.
Yeah, 84.5 to be exact.
He's in my team.
If he gets 100
now.
if he gets 100 against the Storm with this -3 break even, which let's be fair, I feel like that's actually conservative. He gets an 84.5 price rise up against the Raiders at Canberra. He'll be 867k next week and has a break even of 59.
Canterbury? You're talking about the Dogs?
Oh, yeah,
Canterbury,
sorry.
yeah.
I got the abbreviations wrong. CBY, Canterbury. He's going to Canterbury next week.
Yeah, it's tricky too. Sorry, James. Go on.
No, sorry. I was just thinking, he's going against Warbrick this week. I thought he was going against Leo's Edge with Meany and the young fella, but I don't know. Maybe Warbrick can match him in the air. You don't reckon?
No, I don't think it changes. Honestly, I just don't think the way Penrith are playing. It's not just about like Warbrick has to defend the whole Penrith team, not just Milky Jenkins next to Alamotti. Like it's
Yeah. The thought of paying 800k for a non-goal kicking outside back is ridiculous because I've already got one of them, and that's Herbie. Like,
Makes me sick.
I don't know. I don't know if I can have 2 of them not goal kicking and costing me half the team. So I don't know. We'll be thinking about that later.
Where's the line in the sand though, Jimmy? If he's pushing out hundreds without goal kicking,
he's just going to keep doing it, isn't he? And the moment I buy him, he'll score 40. That's how I figure it's going to happen now.
I've just got this feeling, boys. I've honestly just got this feeling. No, don't do it this week because Jesse wants him. But I just got this feeling Jenkins will be $1 million. At some point, Jenkins will be $1 million.
It could happen. Very well.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as out there call as or as brave a call as some people can. I really think that's a proper option. Let's move on. Now, this is going to kill the 3 of us to say this, but I'm going to do it anyways, right? It's almost like the 5'8" name that, you know, like Voldemort, Harry Potter, you know, he who shall not be named, but we've got to do it. We just got to break it. Braden Trimble.
Trimble.
Did I say Trimble? Trindle. 504.2k. Break even of 4 off the back of a 95. And let's be honest, he's actually looked really good this year.
Enough
Jimmy, tell me about him because you love him.
No, I think he's really taken a control of that Sharks attack at the moment, and you're seeing that in the output he's getting at the moment. But I refuse to believe this guy is the answer for 5'8". I just couldn't bring him into my team at the moment. Jesse, what are you thinking about him? I just can't even talk about him, really.
Mate, coming from 2 blokes that had bloody Cody Walker to start the season, talking about Trindle. Absolutely not. Nah, sorry, not for me. I know he's making coin, and you know what? If you got him at the start of the season, or you got him after that massive ton, and then you saw this following week where he scored, 30 odd?
22 against Penrith.
Yeah, well, I'd probably score.
That's expected.
Yeah, no one will score anything more than that against Penrith, but I just can't do it, hey. Like, it's a roller coaster with Trindle, and the position's not really fun enough to ride it. I think, yeah, I don't know. Like, he's going to have these big games, and then there's going to be the game where he goes absolutely missing, or he makes a complete mess of errors, and then it's a Hines game, and then it's just not worth the gamble for me. I think you cannot
So
predict his score lines. You can never
no,
ever
you
predict what
can't.
Trindle will score.
But you kind of can. And the prediction is that it's under 60 because how many times did he score over 60 last year? 3 times.
Probably
One of them was a
three, yeah.
64, one was a 70, and he had a monster 97 in round 3. Right? They're the only times he scored above 60 last year in 2025. So the
Unreal.
prediction was he's just not going to be able to score. Like he's not going to do it. Now, what has something happened this year? I don't know. I'll happily sit back and go, right. If he keeps pushing 80s and hundreds and stuff like that he's done this year, I'll give it a clap and say, yep, awesome job. I missed out on you. So be it. Like you've broken your norm to what you've done your entire career, and
You know
I'll
what?
live with it.
Even if he does, gets another ton, I still won't feel like I've missed anything not having Trindle.
Yeah.
Strikes absolutely
Yeah.
no fear into me seeing him in someone else's team against mine. Sorry, Trindle owners. And sorry, Trindle.
They're
Yeah, he's actually been a gun.
Yeah,
He's actually been
he's
a
doing
gun.
well. Genuinely, he's playing well.
he'll
It's
be
just
15% owned in the entire competition by the end of this weekend.
holy
And
dooly.
he's predicting 600k
Well,
by
actually,
the
he's
bye.
16.1% owned right now, so he'll be even more than that.
I just couldn't buy him at 600k either. Even if he is pushing out 80s, I'd just go to Munster or Sharp for sure.
Well, he's
Yep.
504, Jimmy.
No, I said buy his buy. I did say buy his buy.
Yeah, hell yeah. No, I'm not going anywhere near him.
No.
All right, let's move on. High break evens. Now, this one is an interesting one. And we've put him up there because of his first 2 games, which the first game was actually an injury depleted game because he got 60 on the first 20 minutes. So this is Fletcher Sharp. 730.7k. He's got a break even of 125. Goes up against Canberra at home. His last score was 51, which was last week, and his last game before that was the Vegas game that he just absolutely went nuts in that first 20 minutes. If he scores an 80 against the Raiders this week, he drops 36.7k, will be 694, goes into the West Tigers at West Tigers with a break-even of 94. Is this one guy that you're like, are you looking at trying to get him in? Are you waiting to see what happens? He's got the Tigers, then he plays at the Roosters, then he plays Penrith. Or is this just Fletcher Sharp and he's a freak?
No, I think he's actually, if you've got him, I almost think he's a sell. I don't love the return of a PCL. I think he's going to leak coin for the next few weeks. I think it's going to leak hard because you look at Canberra, not ideal. Then he goes into the Tigers, and who knows, man? We were saying the Wars were the second coming, and they got smacked at home. So Roosters, so-so, and then he goes into Penrith, and I think by that point you're probably looking at Sharp like 600 or sub 600. By that point, I'll be very keen. For sure, probably round 9 onwards, genuinely for the South game. But yeah, it's just tricky business with him, isn't it? Because you don't want to get it aggravated again. You don't want to have to rely on spending 730k on a 5'8" who's hindered for one with too many outs around him because he's a freak. Like he's an absolute freak. But yeah, I just think you're playing with fire at this stage. Just wait it,
Jimmy.
And I think during that game he actually did aggravate that PCL again. He took a nasty step and he was wincing and God knows what. But I'm not too scared of the Canberra matchup. We just spoke about Trindle and what he did to him. So imagine what Fletcher Sharp can. But if you have him, he probably is a sell, honestly. Especially with so many other positions going off. I think take the money and run and come back to him later when he's mid 600s for sure.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go.
I think it is too, but is there a question of it like 80s in that 5'8" position? Does points outweigh the price drop in this instance? Is there a world that you can see that?
Well, he didn't score 80. He hasn't scored 80 yet.
No.
That's the thing. Like we know Sharp can do it. He can go massive, but at the moment he's injured. Or he's playing through an injury it's gonna hover around. He's got 124 break even. He's the most expensive 5'8" by some margin. And everyone's looking to try and cash it. into someone else. Essentially, what you're going to do is instead of copying what could be a 50 plus K price rise, you can bank 200. And how much is a trade worth? You know, if it's worth not losing 200K and spending it and investing it elsewhere, and then coming back to him in a month, I think that's probably wise.
Couldn't agree more. Let's move on to Jacob Carraz. High break-even alert again. 723K, dropped 23.2K last week off the back of his 86. Break-even of 120 against Souths. Scores an 80 again this week. With his 120 break-even, he'll lose another 33.5K. Goes into Penrith next weekend and a tough matchup at about 690K. What are you doing with Carraz, Jesse?
I'm holding Carraz. I was very tempted to sell him last week. I just bit the bullet. I read enough around him that he was ready to go. It took a lot for him to get to the score that he did last week. I'll be honest. He was on a low score for quite a while. To scrounge up an 86 with a try and an assist, it's very un-Carraz-like. You know, you'd expect a ton of just the try, let alone getting the assist and everything else. So I'm just hoping that like another week is probably just better for him. South is a good matchup. Realistically, he's on the left. He's up against probably the tougher side, to be fair, with Whiten and Graham. But I'm still going to roll that dice. If he does get the 80, he goes into that Penrith game with a 57 break even, and I think that's very easy for him to get, even with even against Penrith. You know, surely he's going to get enough to get at least a 50 odd, where the loss is quite minimal. And then it's Para, Brisbane, and Queen, the Cowboys, and I love those three in an attacking sense. So I'm going to hold him. Just to ride it out. And I think, you know, it's different when it's like best of position. Same can be said for Sharp, obviously, in the last one, but it's a different kind of injury. You know, he's got a shoulder issue. Sharp's is his knee. Sharp's explosive, and he's going to be hindered there. The output will drop from Carraz, but I just think he's just too good to really shit the bed too often.
Jimmy.
I concur everything Jesse has said. I think at half time he was on like 20 something. It was really looking bad. And the fact that he got to 86 was just amazing. I wanted to get rid of him, but I think with the current state of my CT dubs, I think I'm just going to keep him there, just lock in a solid 60 to 80 every week. And if he gets a couple tries, he'll get 100 quite easily. I don't think he's a major sell, no. I think he's one of those players you can ride the price drops. He'll come back to his price eventually. And as Jesse was saying, it's only 2 rounds and he's playing Para, so he could score 150 that day.
Yeah, look, there are people messaging me saying that they're trading out Carraz, and I tell them that they're not. I get it. I understand. But this is one of those guys, and I've said it a few times, that you just leave the price, you just leave the drop. You just leave it all and just take the 80 to 70 points and off we go. He does look busted, but when hasn't Carraz looked busted, to be fair?
Exactly.
And, I'd be trading out someone like an Iro who is owned with a lot of Carraz owners before I'd be trading out him. Let's move to trade outs. Now, we're moving into round 5, so we've changed it down to our rank. It ranked in the top 10%. Number 1 in the traded out is Keanu Keeney. Jimmy, you're all over this. You've been messaging me hard about it. Tell me, is good trade? Yes, no?
100% I'd be trading him out. I'd just get him gone. I don't like him. I know
even with
Jesse
a break
might have
even,
another
he
opinion.
walks into a break even of 47, plays the Broncos, who do allow points. He's still 523K. He's got 59, 56, 67, and a 55, and's had no attacking stats.
Yeah, straight to Turbo or Walsh this week I would be doing.
Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it, with Keeney, because he has been pretty, well, I wouldn't even say average, to be fair, because average is higher than what he's scoring. He's been all right in a pretty well shit side. Yep. He has no attack. That's the concern. It doesn't look like it's coming. You can always go, like, he's getting 50s and 60s in his base, and it's impressive. If he gets a try, it'll be a good score. It's like if and when. When's it going to happen? His break-even's low enough where he's not going to lose coin. Like, he's mass traded out. Fair enough. There's a lot of good players popping off around him. But you look at the last 2 games he's played against the Broncos, 124, 132, and that's it. It's like far out. If you're going to
And that
trade him
was
for any,
2024.
yeah, it was only yeah. Well, there you go, 2024. So we're looking 2 years ago. Um, yeah, I traded him out last week. Like I'm already off Keeney. I went straight to Walsh last round just so I could have him. But yeah, I think if you do have him, he's a very, very easy candidate to sell and upgrade from, for sure.
Love it then. I am a Keeney owner and I am keeping him because I'm not going to lose anything off him. And if he just pushes a 60, he pushes a 60. But I just have other stuff that I really need to fix before I trade out Keeney. So hopefully he pushes a 70, 80 this week. And then I can look at trading him next week or whatever. That's the hope. Moses Leo, trading out at 317K, 12% of the top 10. Yes, no.
Yeah, he's just trade out.
Yep.
But he could hold the spot too if it's just delayed concussion, so we'll see.
But even if he holds the spot, he's still only pushing 40s out, and he's got a 40 break even,
48.
right? So 48.
Yeah. But he misses the Penrith game, which is the game that he probably would have got 5. So
Fair point. Yeah, I still feel like he's a sell. He's
yeah, he is a sell.
What is he? He's the dearest of all the cheapies at the moment.
Yeah, 370.
Moses Leo. So if you're looking at like the Macassini, Faimani 2 trio that kind of everyone has, plus Chester in the mix, he's the dearest one. He's the easiest one to cash out on. It's almost 100k down to Farley if you had to, but yeah, I'd be bouncing off him if I had him.
Next one on the list is Setu 2. We've already spoken about him. I think that's a good trade out. You boys don't disagree?
Nope. He's out.
Next on the list is Reed Marnie. 6.2% has been named. He just dropped 36.7k, 381k. Now, I'll start this. I've traded him. So I've dropped him out. I've dropped him to Brandon Smith, but only because I wanted to put a more expensive kind of chippy in just to see how much money I have. I'm happy to take that further and get an extra 30k. That's going to make my world a whole lot better. But yeah, I think Reed Marnie is just... He's not what we wanted him to be. We thought he was going to be 80 minutes. Even with the Luke signing 60 minutes, we thought just with his tackle, the new adjusted stats, and scoring system and everything like that, Reed Marnie would be a good 50 every week and we'd be happy, and I would have just left that be. No, he's got to go.
Abandoned ship.
Yeah, I agree.
Get off. He's leaking. He's leaking heavily. He's got to go. Yeah, he's at 400k to lose money as a hooker, playing, half decent minutes. That's just atrocious.
In games they've won.
Yeah. I suppose that's the problem.
Next on the list is, this blows my mind. Isaiah Yeo, 4.5% in the top 10%. He's number 5 on the list. He's just made 31.2k, 641 off the back of a 70 and an 80 odd, I think it was, off the top of my head. I'm going to go through, an 80 and a 70, 86, 76. I don't get it. Why is this a sell, Jimmy? You are the Yo owner here.
I am, and I've actually been pleasantly surprised at his scores after the first couple of weeks. It's not nice seeing his minutes chopped and changed. That's probably where the frustration's growing. You just don't know what you're going to get each week, and if they start blowing a side out, is he going to get 20 or 30 minutes on the bench? Like last week, he only played one half, basically. So I will be selling this week, and we'll talk about that further, but I think he's a good sell, actually.
Bloody hell, some people are hard to please, aren't they, Trav?
Yeah, I agree.
What else do you need, mate? I suppose you probably need another 30 minutes out of him, just to soften it. But his scores have been good. He started slow for Yo's standard. Again, you weren't
in
paying
games
for
that they
Yo.
beat the Broncos 26-0, and the next game they belted Para, wasn't it?
Yes, that is correct. So
his
the
minutes
first
didn't
two games
need to even be there.
Well, not in the last game. Like, he played 45 minutes, which, again, is concerning, definitely. But they were whacking the shit out of him, and he'd already gotten a try in, a minute or two. So I think just take that with a bit of a grain of salt. His scoring is decent. He's still played over 60 minutes, close to 70 in some of them, in 3 of the 4 games he's played so far. I understand that he's probably the candidate out because the upside's kind of limited if he's playing 45 minutes, but... yeah, the scores don't justify the trade out percentage, to be fair. It's just the minutes.
But it's also the reality that Penrith are going to do this more and more to teams. So they
Yeah,
could
but
just play him 40, 50 minutes throughout the whole year and then just unleash him towards the end of the year. Like an origin period as well, he's going to get rested. Like, they don't need to flog this bloke.
yeah, but they don't need to flog Cleary. They still do. They don't need to flog, Toto, but he plays through hammy injuries, and the team is insane. That's the thing. Like the team is just cracked. If they're that good, it's because of the players that are on. And if Yo's one of them, then I suppose they've got to play him. They've got enough guys coming in. They've got what's that other half?
Cogger.
Cogger. It's sort of spelling him for a bit. They got that Billy Phillips. Like there's a future plan with this team, and you can see it. If Yo's on the decline this season, it would kind of make sense. But yeah, it's I don't have him, and I'm not in this position, so it's kind of easy to talk about it. And I think if I did, I would be a little bit worried that he is going to drop 20 minutes a game because you get the scores from Yo that you want when he does play 70. That's the thing. He's a 1 point PPM guy, occasionally higher. He just got lucky to get a try. And would he have played 45 minutes if he hadn't got a try? You don't know these things, so.
Next on the list is Atco, Daniel Atkinson, 4.2% traded. He's 390. He's made 76K. He walks into this with a game against the Cowboys with a break-even of 35. He's lost his half partner in Flanagan. Kintogia comes through. Thoughts? Trade out? Yes, no? I'm on the yes camp.
I'm on the hold.
I would love to trade him an upgrade, but I'm currently holding. And I don't think it's a bad hold. I just think if you're holding, you're letting everyone get further away, which makes it hard.
I'm on the trade out, and I am.
Yeah. No, it's fair.
I'll talk about
if I
that
could,
later.
I would. Yeah.
Brian Toto, talk to everybody, please, especially our Sam, who is working behind the scenes and does a lot of our content. Mad Manly supporter, and she has been doing nothing but talk to us for the last 2 days about whether she trades out Brian Toto. 3.8% in the top 10%, 563, goes to the Storm with a break-even of 109. The last has a 3-round average of, actually, let's just go, basically his average is 49. He's just under 50. Talk to us. Are you trading Brian Toto out?
Yeah, I would. I'd trade him out. I just think there's too many chefs in the kitchen at the moment in Penrith, and they're named Tom Jenkins. So it just seems like he's not really doing a great deal anymore. Like he's really fallen off, which is really unfortunate because I've got him in draft. But if I had him, I'd be trading him out genuinely. His scores with tries are even pretty disappointing. Like he scored 53 against the Roosters with a try. Didn't get a line break out of it. Must have been off a kick. But even still, the best game that he's had against the Sharks, 87. The other one's very, very, very concerning. Sub 40, sub 30. It's like there's too many things happening in Supercoach at the moment in the centre wing position, in the forwards to let a centre drop 20s on you.
Jimmy?
Yeah, he's actually moved up to third with 9.5% traded out at the moment. So, yeah, I think he's a definite sell if you've got him. Move him on. Downgrade to Sasungi, Warbrick, whoever.
What stats are you looking at?
Top 10%.
Top
Really?
10%?
He's top 10%, 3.8%. Brian Toto?
You're cooking. Either way, I think it's a fair point. There's Sasungi, there's a few guys around that. There's a little bit dearer. You can push yourself into the early 600s, and there's a lot of talent at the moment there.
Yep.
Even if you want to go a little rogue, like you got like Dom Youngs and Avarillos, Azarkos, they're not far away. There's just so much talent. They're popping off. He's just not it.
Yeah,
Is there a world now? Payne Haas 3.6%. Are trading him out? Would you be trading him out now that you've named him? You held him last week when he wasn't played. Now he's been named. Why are you trading him out? His break even's only 87, 84.
If you held him playing,
definitely.
Yeah, it's just silly. I guess they want Bitcoin, but I don't know why. Unless, you know what? I can probably imagine that if I go in and look at Payne Haas, his number one trade out will be to Reece Walsh. And it is, 802k. That makes sense. I see that, genuinely. If Haas has got this injury, you're expecting Walsh to go ton for the next month. I can't knock it genuinely, but I wouldn't do it. Like you find another way to get Walsh, surely. If you've held him,
Yep,
you keep him. If you've already sold him,
agreed.
you don't buy him back. That's it.
I'm I'm already thinking of ways to get him back in, so I definitely wouldn't be
Yeah.
selling.
Number
All
9 on
right,
the list, 3.3%, Stephen Crichton, 588k. Are you trading him out?
Jimmy.
I wouldn't be buying him, that's for sure. Um, if you've got him, I'd probably be selling too. Yeah,
He's
yeah, I would be
Yeah.
selling.
17% owned still. Traded out right now is in across the board a competition 1.9%, so just under 2%, but 3% in the top 10. So he's still quite well owned.
79 BE as well. He probably loses a bit more coin. I'd be looking to change that over this week to one of the premium guys that you don't own.
Yeah. I just think the Dogs' attack is a little bit directionless at the moment, and it's kind of concerning having any of them. But
Yep.
he's a consistent scorer. He's never really been that big Supercoach guy, but we saw the change in the stats kind of gave him a tick up, which is why his percentage of ownership is just so high. He's got a good average against the South. He's also playing the Panthers after that, which he usually turns up for as well. So for the same reason that I'd trade out Toto, I think there's plenty other options. He's dearer than Toto too, so it doesn't make it as hard to upgrade him. But he's a goal kicking centre in one of the best teams in the comp that aren't looking that way at the moment. But yeah, I'd still move him. Hey, it's a hard sell genuinely because if you got him, you played into the Stephen Crichton hype when you bought him in preseason, expecting him
And
to
he's
be a
already had his buy, right?
well.
So
That's
he's
it.
going to be there.
He's going to be available for a while. Who are they playing after? So they got the South Panthers, Eels, Broncos, Cowboys. It's not a bad run for him.
No, it's not terrible.
Yeah, it's not a bad run. Yeah, depends who you're buying. That's the thing. Like, it really does. We can talk about if they're going to be valid trade outs, but if you're trading him to no one, then I think it's probably silly. Um, Trade it out
Last
for
on,
Sasungi. Yeah, that's
yeah,
a fair point. I like it.
last on the list, James Tedesbud. Has a buy of 2.6% traded out. He's 754.7k. Has another big break even of 132 as he walks into that matchup against the Sharks. I'm a happy see you later Tedesbud owner, non-owner now. I was, and I'm very comfortable to say I bought you with your history. You're the best player in the competition, but 260s and a 40 just doesn't do it for me. I've watched you lose more than 110k in the last 2 weeks. I can't let that continue to go. I know Sharks are very good at defending fullbacks. They don't allow. I think they're one of the best competition teams, Supercoach competition wise, at points allowed for the fullback. I am off him. See you later. I'll wait till he starts scoring again, and then I'll probably bring him back. Thoughts, boys?
I'm a proud James Tedesco owner, and I can't be proud anymore. I've just got to let him go. He's really fallen. He was the Dally M winner last year, and now he's scoring 40s. Like, this isn't the Tedesco we know and love.
Yeah.
It's really hard to own him at the moment because you know he can do 110 in a half a
With his
footy,
eyes
but
closed.
yeah,
Mm.
but it's just not happening. And is it DCE? Is it Walker? Is it the whole attack? I don't know, but it's just not working, and he's got to go.
Jesse
Yep.
boy.
Yeah. As much as I hate to say it and it pains me, I think you got to. He's on a buy. He's got 130 odd break even, which he could get, but he doesn't look likely to. Um, as a proud Tedesco owner in draft, as my first pick, I'm confidently playing Dream Buller. It's my backup. So yeah, look, I just think you get off him. It's a good opportunity to on a buy. You don't feel as bad. You don't have to risk him, making you eat your words this week because he's not playing at all. So I think you just get
So
off
for
him,
those that don't
find your
know
way to Walsh.
Jesse, For those that don't know Jesse, Jesse is a very proud and loud Roosters fan. But Jesse doesn't watch NRL. Jesse watches Supercoach, and when he watches for Supercoach, and every pass is either a minus or a plus point, and
Yeah.
that's how he reads it. And if he's telling you to get off, if he's telling you he's playing Dream Buller over Teddy, there's a sign. Get bloody rid of him. Let's go to traded ins. Ranked in the top 10%. I think most of these are pretty self-explanatory, boys. So let's just quickly go through it. Simi Sasangi, 13.3% beam is coming in. He's had already a 127.2 point a price rise. He's 528.6. He is absolutely killing it with a break even of 24. He's averaging right now at 75. He just got 97 against the Sharks. Are you getting him in?
I'm not, but it's not for a lack of I don't want him. I just can't really afford him, and I don't have someone to trade out. But I like the trade in. I do. I think the risk is there, and it's valid around the rotation with the Raiders and what could possibly happen. But he's just playing so well. Surely it's his spot to keep. Something would have to really go wrong for him to get flicked out onto the bench.
Who was it last week that he absolutely folded in half straight off the line? He's watching the game between Canberra and Shah.
I know what you're talking about.
I think it might have been Iro, and he just absolutely cleaned him up. And I just think Ricky's watching that going, "Oh, I love this bloke. He's going to be in my team." And I can't see Tomoko coming back in anytime soon, unfortunately.
Let's start the petition. Melbourne Storm sign Matty Tomoko. Let's. I like the Sasangi trade. Dual 2RF centre wing. I can just see this guy just absolutely dominating for the rest of this year. He's locked his spot. Sticky Ricky will keep him. He just fits everything that Sticky Ricky loves as a player. I'm very keen on Sasangi. I'm not
and
getting
he's a
him
jewel
myself, but I love it. Next on the list, 10.9%. Reece Walsh up against the Titans. Love that trade. Do you boys agree?
Yep. Got him last week. Auto captain for a month for me. So
yeah, from now on, eh?
Yep. Easily.
Next on the list is this is paining me, and I'm so glad I told one of you boys to lock it in and get him, but I didn't do it. Fine Fuiaki, 6.6%. The dude is just a beast. He's made basically 170k price rise. He's 621. He's still got a low break even of 29. Up against a Manly tomorrow. I'm ready to watch him get another 100. Man, what a freak.
Yeah.
Jesse, you're a proud owner.
Oh, I'm so proud. He's flying. And watching him score 99 points in just pure beast mode. No attack, just
no attack. Yep.
It's insane. It's like, what happened? What happened in the off-season for him to turn into this?
This is what everyone was expecting him to go to the Dolphins for and do from the Cowboys. And I know the Cowboys were absolutely shattered when he said he wasn't going to be there. The dude has had potential. He just hasn't had the minutes. He just has had people around him. Now it's his spot, and he looks like he's playing it with his spot. The guy's just a freak. He is just on a roll. Is he a buy? Would you buy him?
Oh, you know what? When someone's getting base power of 99 or just shy of with, a little bit of evade, 100% he is. And he's got a great matchup too. He's going to run through that Manly side. The ship has sailed on coin generation off him, but you're buying probably one of the best looking second rowers in the competition right now for 620. It's a good price.
Could not bloody agree. Next on the list is Brandon Smith. That's a hope and pray that he comes in later on. You've done the trade. You're going to trade him down from Marnie, or you trade him down from Marnie to get to Smith 6%. I did it, but only because I wanted to just play around with some figures. I've now since dropped him all the way down to a pure blown nuff at 201. Boys, are you buying him and telling people to buy him?
Not yet.
Not shit. Yeah, not yet. I've got Reed. I'm just going to hold him for a little bit. I'll take the coin when I can, but I want to make sure he's playing.
If I had Reed, and anyone listening, in the situation of you've got Reed Marnie with a 70 break even, who's probably going to score 30, you're going to lose any margin of coin that would be worth making that trade basically this week, unless you do it, I think. I understand that you're buying him to just cash out, which is entirely the point, you kind of have to do it as soon as possible if that's the case.
I
Yep.
was a Reed owner, and he is gone. Next on the list, I don't know much about this guy, so hopefully you boys do. 4.9%, West Tigers, Tavana, centre wing, fullback dual at 201.4k. He is starting. Played the one game last week, played all 80 minutes in a game that they won, got 41.
Yeah, look, for me, it's probably a downgrade option from Leo, I'd imagine. People trying to free up coin. I'd be going sideways to the other Tigers winger, Lau Lily. I think he's a lot more locked in, and he's actually looking good too. So for me, I'd watch a couple more weeks and just see. But I like Lau Lily a bit better.
Yeah, I would give him another week just to see. I think that Stafford Toe is playing in Cup, so I don't know what's going to happen
He
long
got named
term
to play Cup this week, yep.
with his prospects. And if you're buying him this week as someone who's going to try and leapfrog to keep making coin, there's a good chance he's not named. There's still guys to come. Taylor May's due back around 8.
Yeah.
You got Skelton who could just turn up one day. Like, there's so many things. I wouldn't do it until he was ready to make coin.
Agreed. We've spoken about Mr. Ho. He's 4.8%. Just for people who don't get access to the stats in the top 10% are being brought in. We all said that he's a good buy still. Next on the list is Turbo. 727 has had a 35.2k price rise. He's 3.6 bought in the top 10%. He has a break even of 72 against the Dolphins. I think this is a really good vice captain option. Jimmy, you agree with that? I know you spoke about that today off air. Thoughts? Are you buying Turbo? Is he a good option?
I think he's a great option, and I'd be getting him in as fast as possible. I started with him, expecting injuries to happen and going to Walsh or whatever, but now Turbo's hot property, and everyone seems to want him at the moment, so I'd buy him.
Yeah,
Jesse.
he's probably got the highest ceiling of anyone in Supercoach, to be fair. Put 180 on the Finns last year in their last matchup, so it's a great matchup. He's got a great run. He's got the Dragons next week, and he's got the Cowboys the week after. So I don't really think, as far as form and fixtures go, he's got the hottest run out of everyone. I was this close to getting him in last week over Walsh. That's how close I was, and I'm really tossing it up this round. My eyes are on someone else this week. Again, I wouldn't have a clue how to get him if I don't, but yeah, I really love the buy for Turbo. I really do. He's looking good. Manly suck, but he's just incredible.
Adam Dewey next on the list, 2.9% brought in, 645 on the back of an 89.2k price rise. Has had played 3 games this year, 2 games both above 110, and a pretty good 64 against the Rabbits. He has been brought in by me. You boys, do you agree?
Yeah.
He's a great buy.
Yep, fantastic buy. I love it. Acco up to him is great. I think if you wait any longer, it's going to be near impossible to do that, even with a boost. Great buy. He's not going to kick. I don't think he's going to kick for a while. Grade 1 adductor strain, he said on the radio earlier. So he literally kept it to like 30 seconds before kickoff before he gave Benji the thumbs up, according to himself, which is really wild to see how fine they pushed his fitness to the very, very last second. But he killed it still, even injured, which is great for him. But yeah, don't rely on goal kicking to happen for at least a few more weeks, I would say. And then by that point, Luai's back, and he's definitely kicking anyway. So.
And next to Madden, he's the halves. It's his team. He's running this show, even without the kicking. He's running that show.
Yeah, by far.
Last on the list, 2.9%, Tom Chester. He's already had a 75.3k rise. Are you getting him at 292?
Should have started with him.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be getting him, but I think you should have started with him.
I think he's a better buy than some of the cheaper centre wings that are getting bought, to be fair. I think he's a better buy than Tavana. Obviously, he's 56k dearer, but I like Chester's got the spot. Like, clearly this is his. If Labart's gone to the bench and he's returned to it, it's obviously his. We've seen that Chester can put out a base of 60 odd in certain games. He's averaging 54. He's underpriced. He's only 290k and he's a dual fullback. So it gives you that. He's in my fullback 2 slot and he has been since round 2. round one. So I like his flexibility. He's going to make coin. Playing the Dragons, rubbish. I think he's a buy. Honestly, I really do. I don't think you can really do much wrong with it.
Yeah, it's more so from a fact of, I don't know, is it worth the trade? Unless you're downgrading a Crichton, say, to a
Yeah,
Chester to free
yeah.
up cash.
I wouldn't.
That's where I see it.
It'd be hard
I
to
wouldn't
go
go
up.
Leo to him. I wouldn't go Leo to him or something like that.
No, probably not. Obviously, like
Oh, for
Leo's gonna,
20k less.
yeah, it's
No.
20k and just a jump start of new cash. For a two, you'd be paying up 30, 40k for someone who's been dropped, which is not a bad situation. So I don't mind that. Yeah, I think he's a good purchase. He's got to find a way to do it. He's a good downgrade, probably more than anything else.
Yeah.
That sums up the top 10, boys. Well done. Thank you very much, Jesse, for your first one for 2026. Loved it. Let's talk about our teams going into round 5. Jimmy, can you start us off? Who are your trade-ins this week?
Yeah, we've spoken about a couple already, and I'm looking at selling Tedesco this week. Yo as well, and Moses Leo. I know he's weren't keen on the Yo trade, but he frees up a lot of money for me to do things. I'm looking at bringing in Twal, Sasangi, and Latrell this week, with moving Chester to fullback too, like Jesse's doing at the minute. So I just can't keep running two cheapy CT dubs anymore. I just can't.
I do like it. No Walsh. Oh, you don't have Walsh, do you?
No, not a Welsh owner. Sewer and
Okay.
Turbo.
Yeah, fair. I like them. Genuinely, I really do. I think they're probably upgrades overall. I like that you're not trading
Agreed.
Karaz.
Yeah.
I agree. Jesse, what are your trade-ins?
I am making trades for the sake of it this week. Genuinely, I have no fires. I've looked at my team and I'm like, there's no real issue. There's nothing for me to do except just want to trade, and that's what I'm doing. This is gonna suck. It's gonna punish me big time, and I'll probably get a lot of flack. I'm trading out Jacob Preston. Um, he's very good,
Wow.
and yeah, he's very good,
Yeah.
and he's performing very well. And I'm just like, oh, I just hate seeing Milky keep going. So far,
There it is.
the one that's really making me go, I might do this. I'll be nuffing out Preston. It's so irresponsible. I'll be sending him straight down to Miles Martin. He will be my nuff. I don't have
How's the
one,
cash
so
flow?
cash flow's great. So I'll be nuffing out Preston to the shock of everyone, and I will be upgrading to Tom Jenkins.
Damn.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like 540k swing. It's disgusting to look at, but I love it so much. Makes me so
And
Jesse.
that's the only trade?
Essentially, it's Preston to Jenkins, and I'm going 2 to Martin just to give me the extra 40k I need.
Can you tell everyone who your other 4 CT dubs are, Jesse, please?
I'm collecting the premium center wings like Infinity Stones, everyone. I currently have Herbie Farnworth, Tom Jenkins, Valentine Holmes, Latrell Mitchell, and Jacob Karaz. Karaz is my 5th center wing with a reserve on him.
Wow.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It makes me so happy.
Mate, this is why we hate you. And all right, so my trade-ins this week is I'm going Reed Marnie out to Mr. Packer for 201.4k nuff. And then I'm just going to leave that there for the rest of the year. I've got Atkinson getting upgraded to a Dewey, and I've got Tedespud getting traded to Turbo. And I did that 5 minutes before this podcast. It was a JC, not Turbo, but I'm going to bring in Turbo. I just kind of want that extra fullback. So now I'm running a Sewer Turbo when I'm trading out Teddy. I really like the Turbo JC, and that potentially could happen. But yeah, I'm on that, boys. Let's quickly talk about some of your top. What's your top 3? Or let's go down. What's your top 2 vice captains options for the week? Let's see if we can get a few names for everybody.
I'll start. I'm thinking about Herbie and Tommy. I think you could vice captain either one of them.
Yep.
And probably Cleary. I think that's a no-brainer. I haven't got any standout captains this week. It probably is Cleary. But I'm very tempted to just throw the C back on Hudson Young against the Knights and just see what happens there.
That's fair. I'm obviously, I think Herbie Farnworth VC this week is the clearest VC we've ever seen or probably ever going to have, but I really like a Fino Filiaki VC if you want to get a little cute with it. I think he could do some damage. Um, I always VC my trade-ins, so as good as those two matchups look, or those two players against Manly look, I'll be probably looking at a VC on Jenkins, just to freaking ride it through. Watch him score 40 and just smack me in the ass, but I'll live with it. Genuinely, I know it's silly. As far as captains go,
the world just doesn't. That would, yeah, no, that I don't. I can't see that happening. He's got
I can't.
he's got at least one, if not two tries and some runs against the Storm on Friday night.
yeah.
I am 32.2% are on Herbie for the VC. I think that's just a no-brainer. If you're a turbo owner as a pod, he is 8.3%, which I put in our captain's post today. A good VC option I also like is Latrell Mitchell. I can just see a few tries, extra points. One's going to come through here. I'm just not sold on the Bulldogs. I'm really disappointed in what they're doing. And I've currently got the VC on Herbie, and that won't change. And your captains, boys, give us a couple options for captains.
I'll go with Reece Walsh. I think I said earlier he's going to be my captain for the next month, and I don't think that's very negotiable.
34.3% in the top 10 are on him.
Oh, he's an easy captain. He's such
What
an
would
easy
you
captain.
What would you have to take from your VC to not captain Walsh this week against the Titans?
It's hard to ignore a 120. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Especially
120 from Walsh. 120 from Jenkins, which he's done 3 times already. I think I'd consider it very heavily. I would. And I'm looking at my options as far as an AE goes, and I don't think there's too many headaches to look at. So I would take a loop on Jenkins at 120. But yeah, I think Walsh could just go bonkers. And he's a standout.
For me, I think it's just clear cut. I think I'm either going to go Cleary or Young, and I'm all intentions of looping Herbie after the first game tomorrow night.
Just captain him.
Yeah, let's bloody hope. Let's hope. I think Cleary is a fantastic option. I'm not keen on Sewer at 21.5%, and the top 10 are on that captain. I kind of hope you do. I think Sewer still gets a 70, but I don't think he's going to get much more than that against Penrith this week. I'm very interested if you were a Hines owner. I think that's a good option at home against New Zealand. But I've got the captain just for this, the Jesse Juju, I like to call it now. I've got a C on Adam Dewey for myself.
That's rogue. That's so hot. Oh, that's good. That's mad.
Just begging for a hammy in the first 5 minutes, but
he could just go nuts though. Like Dewey could just do something stupid, man. He could get like 2 tries and 2 assists. Like you just don't know with him. He just can do
against
anything.
Para, 61. I'm 61,000th rank. I'm going to do some things that are rogue like this, and this is one of them. Dewey's coming in. For me, not to captain Dewey this week, I need a Herbie 120. If Herbie gets 120, I'll just loop that. Because, I mean, really, my loop options are going to be Failmani, Pezzett, and Paseka. Like, surely none of them are going to just get absolute trash scores, so I'm okay with that.
You wouldn't think. I'd be thinking out of any of them, probably going to cop a 30.
Yeah.
30 is always what I think of an AE and a flex out anyway. So, Herbie's been banging out 80s with no tries, so you could very well get your 120.
Siffy starts. I'm starting Keeney. I'm starting Cleary because I'm captaining Dewey. And I'm starting Ho, and I'm starting Mooney over Paseka.
Yeah, it's all good options. I'm thinking about, I'm going to reserve Chan, Lukey, Noah Martin, and I think I'm going to go Chester over Macassini and Ho this week because I just like that matchup.
I like it.
I will be reserving Lukey and Ho. They're both in my second row now. I will be chucking one on Chester or Macassini, but I'm feeling Chester. And my last reserve is Jacob Carraz.
That's just
Same
rude,
reserve.
and that's a wrap for our first podcast as a little threesome. Hey boys, thank you so much, Jesse. I love
Fun.
that. I can't wait to edit the 10 minutes that you joined watch Jimmy's face, watch his quietness, watch the fact that he just had nothing to say, had no idea. We kept that a really good secret, mate. Onwards and upwards. Can't believe it. Love it. Love that you're a part of it. We love you, man. And Jimmy,
Yep.
as we have grown over the last 4 weeks, this is number 5. You are just getting better and better, mate. Only onwards and upwards. And now that we've got 3 sponsors, which is just unreal.
Whoa.
Understanding supports, go and get onto them if you need any support, help, mental health side of things, and get on to the Rugby League Fantasy Pro. That's where most of our stats come from. When you see Jesse looking off the screen, that's definitely where he is looking. The guy is a god there. Go and talk to him and get that. But SC Spectrum 26 to get a 20% off the full website price. And contact Freedom Finance and my man Con is an absolute champion. He is on board. He will help you and to do any of your mortgages or finances. That's a wrap for us. Hour and 25. That's pretty good. I'll keep these boys in check moving forward, guys. And love you all. That's a wrap. Thank you very much. Good luck in round 5.